we have divided your preparation into two phases. The first phase is the preparation and consolidation, and second phase is the application and enrichment. If you don't want to make the notes, you can simply highlight into your X Factor notes itself. That is also fine, because we have tried to keep X Factor notes as concise as possible. Okay, so notes making is completely optional. It depends upon your convenience. So if you see AR13 Hemant, he didn't prepare any of the notes. He simply used the X Factor. He highlighted the points in the X Factor only, and he revised it again and again, and he aligned those notes with the PYQs. Good morning all of you. Am I audible? And is the screen visible? Yes. Okay. So I hope prelims went well for everyone. So just as per our prediction, anything above 85 you can consider a safe score as far as the GS paper 1 of the prelims is considered. So if you are getting anything above 85, don't wait for the result, and don't be in this state of panic or don't be in this state of anxiety, because till the result come, that is in next 15 to 20 days. Okay, if you waste your time or if you can't utilize these 20 days productively, okay, that is going to definitely impact your preparation. Okay, so if you are getting above 85, just put down your GS papers of the prelims, store it or store it somewhere. Don't open it, don't recheck it. Okay, if you are getting anything above 80, then also you have to follow the same schedule. Then also don't check again, because there may be few variations, because in 2024 itself you have seen UPSC has given the or changed the answers of 2 to 3 questions, right? And 3 questions they have removed. Okay, so this year also there are some controversial questions, so your score may also vary. So if you are all getting in the range of 80 to 85, then also start your studies. Okay, so for the next 85 days, what you have to do, that I am going to discuss today. It won't be just about the timetable, but it will be also about the approach with which you are going to study. Okay, so I am providing you with a very sophisticated approach and very sophisticated framework. Okay, so don't miss out on even a second of this session of the first session of the conclave, and from tomorrow onwards we will be going deeper into the answer writing, but today we will start with the schedule for the next 85 days. Okay, so let's start. The first one is, see, we have divided your preparation into two phases. So as you have 85 days, we'll leave the last 5 days for your last round of the revision and consolidation, but the remaining 80 days we have divided into two phases. The first phase is the preparation and consolidation, and second phase is the application and enrichment. So what does the preparation and consolidation phase means is, in first 40 days itself, what you are going to do is you are going to finish your entire syllabus of the GS plus your optional. Okay. Second thing, in these 40 days you are going to prepare 1-pager short notes for each and every micro theme that has been covered in your PYQ micro theme document and your X Factor notes. Okay. Third thing that you are going to do, whenever you are preparing any of the micro theme through the X Factor notes, we have also given you the access to the theme wise answers of the toppers. So for example, if the micro theme is local government, we have compiled the answers of the toppers on the local government topic. So the answers of the toppers are only of rank 1 to 5 from last 5 years. Okay. So this is going to be your phase 1. Okay. In this phase, what I want from your side is the maximum amount of the hard work. That is, in this phase itself, I want at least 11 to 12 hours from your side. Okay. Why? Because of the targets that we have kept. In 40 days itself, what we have to do, we have to finish your entire syllabus of the GS and optional, and we have to give your first 4 tests of the GS and 2 tests of your optional. Okay, so along with the 6 tests, we are going for syllabus completion. Now, why I am focusing upon the 40 days only, or why I want you to finish your first round or the syllabus in first 40 days is that because with this, if you can pull this off in first 40 days, okay, you will reach to the level of average marks in your means. Okay, that is for 10 marker and for 15 marker. For 10 marker, you will reach to the level of 4 to 4.5, and for 15 marker, you will reach to the level of 6 to 6.75. Okay, with the content that you will be building in the first phase. Okay, and see, getting here is an easier part. Okay, and for that, even if you finish your first round by 60 days or 70 days, then also you will reach up to this level. But this level is going to take you only till the interview stage, or only, but it won't give you an rank. Okay, even if it gives you a rank, that will never be into the top 50. Okay, that is why I want to finish the entire syllabus in the first 40 days itself. Then the next 40 days will be where we will focus upon the application and enrichment part. So application and enrichment part will involve once you are done with your notes. Okay, again, notes are optional. If you don't want to make the notes, you can simply highlight into your X Factor notes itself. That is also fine, because we have tried to keep X Factor notes as concise as possible. Okay, so notes making is completely optional. It depends upon your convenience. So if you see AR13 Hemant, he didn't prepare any of the notes. He simply used the X Factor. He highlighted the points in the X Factor only, and he revised it again and again, and he aligned those notes with the PYQs. Okay, so once you do the heavy lifting in the first 40 days itself, then in the next 40 days you will, in this phase, we will try to take your marks from 4.5 to 5.5 or 6.75 to 7.5, which is topper level marks. Okay, that is about 55%. Okay, so getting the average marks is comparatively easier, but increasing that 0.5 or 0.75 marks in each question, that is the most difficult part, and which ultimately determines your rank. Okay, because if you see in the GS papers itself, you write total of the 79 questions, and if you ensure that extra 0.5 mark in each of the question, there will be the difference of 40. Same thing with your optional, where you write around 38 questions, and 1 mark difference in each question will make the difference of about 38 to 40 marks, right? And this 80 marks is the difference between AIR 1 and the person who couldn't clear the mains. Okay, and that is why we have to do the maximum heavy lifting. Okay, so that is why we have to do the maximum heavy lifting in the first 40 days itself. So in the next 40 days, what we will be doing first is the test papers and post test discussions, where we will be giving 8 FLTs, 3 to 4 essay tests and 4 tests of your optional. Second thing, the most important thing that we will be doing along with the revision is the brainstorming. Okay. So what we will be doing basically in brainstorming is, while revising the content or the X factor notes or your notes, we will simply go through the PYQ. We'll just imagine the answers that we will be writing. So this is going to be my introduction, this is going to be my context. Then in main body I will be using this framework, right, either pastel or staple. We will be having a session on the frameworks also, right, and then I will be doing this kind of the conclusion, and as a bonus I will be using some kind of the presentation aspect, either a table highlighting a case study or a diagram, right, or global best practice, etc. So along with writing 8 papers, that is about 160 questions, you will be brainstorming over 300 questions in this phase, and that will help you to bring a bit of innovation into your answers, right, because that extra 0.5 marks comes from one, the content uniqueness, that is that 1 to 2 extra points that toppers writes, or 1 to 2 extra or unique points that they write into their answers. Okay, rest 8 to 9 points are the same that you are also going to write, but these 1 to 2 extra points or 1 to 2 innovative aspects like a diagram or a case study which Aditya Srivastava used to do, right, that makes the difference of that 0.5 to 1 mark, right. So we are going to focus upon that. Second aspect is the consolidation of the frameworks. So for every micro theme, let's again suppose the local government, our answer writing framework will be PIE's approach, right. So we will just revise that key in local government questions. The approach is going to be PIE's. So from political perspective, these are the issues. From institutional perspective, these are the issues. From economic perspective, these are the issues. From social perspective, these are the issues. This is in this way, along with revision of the notes, you will also be consolidating your frameworks, because once the frameworks are consolidated, it will help you in 2 ways. One, in the dimension coverage, and second is time management. Right, only when you have the framework, then only you will be able to write 11 to 12 points into the 10 marker and 16 to 18 points into the 15 marker, and that too within 7 minutes, because your brainstorming aspect, okay, or brainstorming time during the actual exam will come down, because you have practiced this, because you have brainstormed over 300 questions, right. And third is the presentation practice, right, where along while doing the post-test discussions also, we suggest you some kind of the innovations, key in what can be your brownie point in this micro theme, right. So you can simply note it down and you can cover it, or you can brainstorm over it as well. And last is the keyword compilation, which you can use either in your introduction and your conclusion, and those you will be again getting from the toppers answers, right. So if you want to see those who have given the mains last year, you see, for example, this is the compilation that we gave, right, from the toppers answers, the best practices from the toppers answers. For example, if you get a question on the self-help groups, right, so after the introduction you can use this input-output diagram as a context into your answer. Again, this presentation aspect will give you an age of 0.5. Similarly, if you see, this is similar diagram with respect to the NGOs, right. Every year you get a question with respect to the NGOs or donor agencies. You can also use the similar answer. This is this framework is taken from the answer of Air Force Smruti Mishra, right. This, then this is with respect to the red corridor. Again, rather than having a generic map, you can have the detailed map, right? Similarly, this is India's demography, so you can use it in any question related to the skill or related to the population and associated issues, right? Then coming to the ethics specifically, this is the framework which you can follow with respect to the case studies. So how to bring the diversity into your case studies, right? Similarly, if you see this with respect to the case study, how to bring the innovation, just after the introduction, what you can bring the guiding principle, right? Again, you won't find these kind of the things into any of the standard books. These are taken directly from the toppers answers, right? And which are the best practices. Again, similarly, guiding principles, right? Or this is the flowchart which you can use while highlighting the course of action. This is taken from the answers of Animesh Pradhan, right? This similarly, this is from the Aditya Srivastav, where he has, while giving the course of action, he has prioritized the values, like preventing the violence is going to be his first preference, second, third, right? So while giving the course of action also, you can utilize this in one. In another case study, you can utilize the Animesh approach of the flowchart, right? Then this is also the different aspects of the presentation, how you present your merits and demerits. In one of the case study, you can simply provide a table and provide a merit demerits. In one case study, you can utilize this. In another, with respect to course of action, again a tabular way of action and justification. In the second, a flowchart, right? This, then one unique aspect, after giving the course of action and its justification, you can go beyond the demand and highlight the approach that you have adopted have some issues and the solutions for it. Again, it will bring that innovation and the enrichment into your case studies, right? This. Similarly, you can also add one of the case studies, right? So the point is, again, there are going to be more than 50 to 60 good practices from the toppers answers that we will be giving you in your entire course, right? And to consolidate those or to inculcate those, right, or to apply those into your answers, what you need is the time and brainstorming. And that is why we have given 40 days for this mark. Okay? And that is precisely why you have to give, or you have to do the heavy lifting in the first phase. Okay? Everyone with me? Am I sounding logical or am I sounding illogical? Yes? Any doubts? Okay? Clear? Because see, remember, just going through the toppers copies or just understanding these aspects won't automatically result into writing the similar kind of the answers. Okay? That requires practice, that requires brainstorming. And if you finish the first phase of the preparation and consolidation in 40 days, you will be having more than 40 days for the revision and the value addition and the enrichment part. Okay? Next, so this is the schedule that we have prepared for you. Okay, again, a simple philosophy with respect to the schedule. I will open the better version of it. So the simple philosophy behind the schedule that we have prepared is never align your schedule with the tests. Okay, rather align your tests with the schedule. Okay, so just because you have the test on that particular day, so don't push yourself or don't just revise just by going through the pages without properly consolidating or by compromising the process. Avoid that. ठीक है, you align your tests as per the schedule. ठीक है, so for the first 10 days, that is you will be starting from today itself. After the session immediately you will be starting. Okay. I will take question and answer after the session. I will tell you where you are going to get all the resources also. Okay. So for the first 10 days, that is till 8th of June, okay, what you will be doing is the GS2, and again optional we have divided into 4 parts. So paper 1 has part 1, part 2, paper 2 has part 1, part 2. Okay. So in the first 10 days you will be covering the 50% of your paper 1, that will be the 25% of your overall optional, and the GS paper 2. Okay. Within GS paper 2 you will be giving 4 days for polity. Okay. Then you will be giving 2 days for governance, 2 days for social justice, and 2 days for IR. Okay. For the entire content you will be getting the updated X Factor notes. At the end of the session I will tell you how to get access to the notes. Okay. So on 8th you will be giving your first FLT of GS2. Now the logic behind starting with GS2 is that many of the aspirants start with the ethics, right? But if you see, in more than half of the questions of the ethics, so the questions from the foundational values or the questions from the probity, you will be needing the content from the governance also, right? And that is why we will be starting with the GS2, because once you are done with the governance, once you have the examples from the social justice, and once you know the constitutional articles or the constitutional provisions from the polity part, the same you can utilize in your ethics, right? And that is why rather than GS4 we are starting with GS2. That is the first logic. And second logic is the maximum or the bulk of your scoring is going to come from GS2 and GS4, because as per our targets we keep the target of 120 to 125 in GS2 and 125 to 130 in GS3. Again I am giving a practical targets. I have the mark sheets of my Smash Mains 2024 students who have achieved this targets. Okay. Beyond this will be based upon your own innovations. Okay. I am not saying this is the maximum that you can reach. You can go beyond this, but that will come from your own innovations and your own style of the writing, which you will be developing in the second phase of the 40 days. Okay. So this is the first paper. Second is your, and then again next 10 days you will be doing your optional, and for ethics we have given 8 days, which I believe is more than sufficient for your ethics. Yes, this PDF will be shared into your groups. Okay. So for ethics we have given 8 days, which I believe is more than sufficient, because majority of you must have your own notes of the ethics. If you don't, you simply refer the X Factor notes, and even if you have your own notes, you do the value additions from the X Factor notes. Okay, because the dimensions and the theoretical linkage that you will be getting from in the X Factor notes, okay, you won't find it in any other content from the market. Okay, so just for those 2 aspects, the dimensions and the linkage with the ethical theories, okay, apart from the examples, you have to do the value addition from the X Factor notes. So here simply you cover your theory part in 5 days and case study part in 2 to 3 days, and on 8th day you give your test. Okay. So this is 8 day for your ethics. Is it manageable? Yes. Is it manageable? 8 days for ethics, right? Okay, the next is, then we will be shifting to the GS1. Again, the optional paper to 50% for 10 days, there won't be any change, but for GS1 I am giving 11 days, okay, because of the total subjects that are there in the GS1, okay. So in GS1 the 11 days, and again our target in GS1 is 105 to 110. Okay, this is the practical target which based upon our frameworks you can easily achieve. Okay. Here also if you see the division, so the modern history and AMAC, you try to cover it in 3 days, because you have already read it for your the prelims. You just have to revise only by applying the answer writing framework document that we have prepared for the the ancient middle art AMAC and modern history. Also you will be also getting the X factor notes for both the subjects. Okay, and I would strongly suggest to follow the X factor notes at least for AMAC part. Okay, because we have tried to prepare those based upon the exam framework. So for every kingdom that you get a question on, just last year you had a question on Pallavas and Cholas. So for every kingdom we have tried to provide you the map, we have tried to provide you the ready-made introduction and the maximum dimension coverage. Okay, also the answer writing frameworks for modern history as well as AMAC has also been uploaded on your portal. Okay, next is geography, for which you will be giving 4 days. So 2 days for physical geography and 2 days for economic geography. Okay, and at the end society will be in 3 days. And again I believe 3 days is more than sufficient for society. And your single source should be the X factor notes, okay, for society. So in 11 days you will be finishing your GS1 and you will be attempting your GS1 test. Okay, so this is your FLT3. It will be uploaded on I think 24th or 23rd of June, but you can attempt your test on 28th of June of GS1. Okay, and once GS1 is done, again optional is going to be same, 10 days for the last paper of your optional, and for GS3 I am giving 12 days because of the vastness of the agriculture and the economics part. Okay, so within this also if you see, you have to cover the core economics in 2 days, agriculture part in 2 days, okay, then environment and disaster management in 3 days, internal security in 2 days, and science and tech in 2 days. Okay, so this is total 11 days, but I am giving you 1 day buffer in case you need an extra day for this part, specifically for agriculture. Okay, so that is why, considering the vastness of the GS paper 2, GS paper 3, I am giving 12 days for your GS paper 3. That is the breakdown. Okay, is it clear? Yes, and then you can attempt your 4 tests on 7th to 8th of June, on July. Okay, and after that, once these 40 days, okay, that is till 8th of July, once you finish your entire syllabus, then your preparation phase and the consolidation phase will be over, and आपका जो मेंस का मार्क्स है, so around 740 to 750 marks you will reach here. So in the first 40 days जो आपका फाउंडेशन है that is 740 to 750, ठीक है, ये this we have to achieve in the first 40 days. Okay, and in the next 40 days we have to increase it in by around 100 marks. ठीक है, 50 in the GS, 50 to 60 and around 40 marks in your optional. ठीक है, then one more thing is once you are done with GS2 and GS4, ठीक है, that is by 15th of or I think 16th of June, ठीक है, after 16th of June along with GS2 and ethics you also have to cover your essay, because majority of the content that you are going to write is going to come from these two parts. Okay, so if you have already done the part or the lectures with respect to the structuring of the essay, what I would suggest is for these 18 days on daily basis you just download the copy of one topper of the essay. I have already uploaded it or prepared a drive where I have uploaded the marks of the toppers of essay. Okay, on daily basis you just read his two essays, okay, one topper paper of essay, and if you have already done the lectures with respect to the structuring of the essay, then that's fine. Your content will be from these two, then structuring you will understand from the toppers answers. And once that is done, from this, so after 16th of June, on every weekend, that is on every Sunday, you have to write at least one essay. Okay, so you will be getting around 8 to 9 weeks. So even if you write one essay on every weekend, get it evaluated by our team and get it discussed with your mentor on every weekend, you will end up writing 8 to 9 essays, and at the end in the stimulator you will be writing 2 more essays, which is more than sufficient, because in essay itself we are targeting 130 plus. Again, I am not saying based upon this year's marks. This year the average marks in essay are far less compared to the average from the previous years, but considering the average of the previous years, we target 130 plus in the essay. That will come only with the practice, okay, because content part will be this and structuring part you will understand from reading of the toppers essay. Again, in this conclave we are going to have one session on the essay where we will be discussing the structuring of the essay. Okay, so after this, every weekend one essay. Next is, once this phase is over of first 40 days, after that what we have done, we have given 1 week for every subject. So you have to revise each and every paper in 1 week, and you have to attempt the second round of the FLTs. So for GS2 7 days, for GS4 I have given just 5 days, because I think for ethics 5 days is more than sufficient. Okay. Then for GS1 again 7, and GS3 again 7 days. Okay. And once you do the heavy lifting in the phase 1, where in phase 1 itself if you put around 11 to 12 hours, you will be easily, or it will be easier for you to cover or do the heavy lifting in first 40 days, and from there in these next 7 days even 9 to 10 hours a day will also be sufficient. Okay. What normal aspirants do is they start slow, and at the when the exams are near, they pick up this pace. So they start from 6 hours and they increase it to the 10 to 11 hours. But what we are going to do is we are going to do the reverse, where we are putting the maximum effort at the beginning, and once we consolidate our entire preparation or entire notes and entire approaches, then we are going to just build on that in the next 40 days. So if you are relaxed during this phase if you are confident, then only you will be able to bring the innovations into your answers, and there will be less level of anxiety and pressure, which will automatically boost your confidence. Okay, and in this 40 days you will be able to focus upon the minute details of your preparation. Okay, so after this 7 days per subject, and once the second round is done, so by the 3rd of August you will be done with your second round, and the 4 FLTs, that is total 8 FLTs will be done. Then these 5 days, so from 4th of August to the 8th of August, okay, you won't be doing any of the optional, rather you will be just doing the GS, the 3rd round of revision, and you are going to attempt the stimulator on 9th and 10th of August. Okay, so just to get the exam pressure, or just to get the actual exam experience, these 5 days you are going to revise your GS papers, and on 9th and 10th of August you are going to attempt our stimulator tests. Okay, it will also involve the essay. So essay, GS1, GS2, GS3, GS4. So by 10th of August itself, you will be done with all of our 12 FLTs. Right. After that, once you are done with this, and once you do the post-test discussion with the mentor, in the next 3 to 4 days, 11, 12, 13, you just give the entire days to your optional. Can you revise your entire optional in either 3 to 4 days? Okay. And after that, from 14th of August to 20th of August, what you do, you reduce your hours for the optional to only 2 to 2.5 hours. Okay, just keep on revising the most important topics from your optional and give just 2 to 2.5 hours, and give maximum time to the GS. Because for optional you will be also getting the extra 5 days, the gap between the GS and the optional. Okay. So once you do the 3rd revision of your optional here, you just give limited time to the optional, and that week maximum time you give to the GS papers, where you will be starting with GS3, which you will revise in 2 days, ethics in 2 days, GS1 in 2 days, and in the last 2 days you will be revising GS2 plus essay. Okay, why we are giving this is because okay, ethics you can easily revise between the 2 to 2.5 hour gap between GS3 and GS4. That is why we are giving more time, we are finishing the ethics early. GS3 you can finish, or you can revise on the night of 23rd of August after giving GS1 and 2, and GS1 and GS2 and essay at the end, because we have to give maximum marks in GS2, so that is why we have kept GS2 at the end. Okay, and also in writing the essay also you are going to need the content from GS2. Okay, so this is your overall schedule that you will be following in your preparation. Okay, the PDF of this will be uploaded on your portals. It will be also uploaded in all the Smash groups as well. Okay, and if you don't receive it, you can simply text me. Okay, that is the first thing. Second, now the schedule. Is the schedule part clear? Yes, before we move on to the approach, is the schedule part clear? Okay, do you think it's manageable, or I am expecting too much from you? Yes, do you think it is manageable? हो पाएगा? Right? Perfect. Will manage मतलब ठीक है. So now schedule part. Next is the, I think, approach part. Okay, how now we'll come to the aspect of how you have to approach the topics, how you have to prepare the notes. ठीक है. So now the approach. ठीक है. So as far as approach is concerned, you have to focus upon these 5 aspects. The first is the exam orientation. Now what do I mean by the exam orientation? So exam orientation means कि whatever topic you are reading, ठीक है, so you have to focus upon these 6 points or these 6 aspects from that particular topic, because you are going to get question on either one of these topic only or one of these aspect only, and your notes also needs to be prepared in the same format. Okay, so what is the 6-point note making formula is, first you prepare your introduction, that is either quote, definition or origin. Again, to go into the detail with respect to the introduction, okay, so see, while preparing the introduction, what you have to do is you have to prepare 2 to 3 types of the introduction, not just one. Okay, don't be too much rigid that on any question with respect to the federalism, I am going to give you the definition of the federalism. That won't work. Okay, you have to keep 2 to 3 introductions ready, because the question can be asked on the different aspects of that micro theme. So suppose if you are taken the federalism aspect, okay, they can frame a question on the significance of the federalism. So they can ask a question, can highlight the significance of the federalism and the major issues related to it, or they can ask the issue side of the federalism. Indian federalism, though has the constitutional backing, in practice its working has been marred by the executive overreach from the union level. Okay, or they can ask you issue side from the governor's office, okay, or the present issue with respect to the president and governor's assent to the state bills, right? So issue side also question can come. So if the question is on the positive side, you prepare the quote or you start with the quote or definition kind of the introduction. But if the question is on the issue side, then your introduction will be either data based or context based. So suppose if they ask you highlight the issues in the federalism in India, you can give the context based recent Supreme Court judgment with respect to the governor's power to reserve the bill for the president, and with respect to the pocket veto, okay, highlights the challenges in the federalism in India. Okay, or you can also give the data based introduction, okay, where you can highlight the issue. Okay, or third is the origin and objective side, majorly on the questions related to the government schemes, okay, or in the art and culture questions with respect to the kingdoms, what we give their origin, or with respect to the schemes, we start with their year of their launch and the objective, right? So in this way, those 3 kind of the introduction you have to prepare, one on the positive side, one on the negative side. Okay, that is with respect to the introduction. Okay, second part is the history and classification. जो मैंने दिखाया था diagram of the NGO and the self-help group of the input-output model, okay, that is the part of the context. So what toppers do, okay, you can go through the answers of Shubham Kumar, you can go through the answers of this Smruti Sharma, okay, or Smruti Mishra, AR4, or you can go through the answers of Akshat Jain. What they have done, or Utkarsh Dwivedi, AR5, what they have done is, after the introduction, they have tried to set the context by providing the classification or by providing the types. Okay, suppose the question is on the federalism. So what they will do after the introduction, they will simply give a flow chart. Okay, and they will talk about the federalism or the federal division of powers. So this will be the financial division, administrative division and legislative division. ठीक है, ये जो क्लासिफिकेशन लक्ष्मीकांत में भी दिया है, they will simply give that flow chart. That will set the context. It will help not only in filling the pages, but it will also shows the depth of your understanding of this static topic. ठीक है, so किसी का भी क्लासिफिकेशन और हिस्ट्री अगर कुछ होगा, you can use it a flow chart after the introduction. So you have to incorporate that into your notes. ठीक है, the third aspect is the facts and the features aspect, where if it is related to the any of the government scheme, okay, or the policy, you will be noting down the important provisions of it. So last year you had the question on data protection bill, so the provisions of it, okay, or any scheme that has been launched recently, the provisions of it, then the important data and examples. Okay, so these three parts. The fourth aspect is the most important one, that is the analysis aspect. So in analysis aspect, you have to cover the positives and the negatives. There can be potential or the significance of it, okay, or the benefits of it, okay, anything from the positive side, and on the negative side there can be limitations, challenges, the major issues, okay. So this here, make sure you are attaching any of the framework, जैसे either PIE's approach or your pestle approach or 6P approach, जो भी approach you will find in your expector notes, or the approaches that we will discuss with you during your post-test discussions. Okay, here you have to ensure that you have arranged your points based upon that approach. Okay, because recalling points is difficult compared to recalling the approach. So only if you know कि okay local government का question है, I have to use the PIE's approach, automatically आपका classification political, institutional, economic, social में आ जाएगा, right? So that I have tried to incorporate into the notes as well. So if you see, this is the ethics notes on the role of media, right? So I have given you two frameworks. One, 6C framework. So with respect to the media, 6C framework is the content, credibility, conflict of interest, confidentiality, consent, coverage, ethics, and these are your dimensions. So even if you remember 6C framework or the press framework itself, right? Key, the major issues, profit motive, regulation failure, E for editorial capture, S for social harm, and S for standard deficit, right? At least remember this. Okay, if you remember this, this part will automatically, you will be able to recall while writing the papers. Okay? So this will be your application part, where you will be covering positives and negatives using the frameworks. The fifth part is the government step, that is the schemes launched, the policies launched, okay, or the funding provided or the provisions from the recent budget. Okay, and at the end, the way forward, where there are two ways of generating the way forwards. One is you get the specific committee recommendations, state and global level best practices or the case studies, or whatever negatives you have, you generate the solutions for each and every issue or the negative point that you have incorporated into your notes. तो हर इशू का, हर चैलेंज का सॉल्यूशन वे फॉरवर्ड में इंकॉर्पोरेट करो. ठीक है, दिस इज द सिंपल 6-point नोट मेकिंग फॉर्मूला, एंड दिस शुड बी योर अप्रोच फॉर कवरिंग एनी ऑफ द माइक्रो थीम. ठीक है, सो आपके नोट्स कैसे बनेंगे इससे? सो दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर योर 1-pager notes. This is the federalism. Okay, at the beginning you will add the PYQ, then This will be your introduction part. ठीक है. Then this is your classification part. Evolution of federalism. No, so if the question is asking about the evolution, okay, you can use this, or there are features. This part also you can use it in a flowchart manner. Okay, next. Okay, so all the core aspects, जैसे asymmetric federalism, cooperative federalism, again introduction, then the data and the analysis of it, ठीक है, the need, that is positive side, major issues, these are the steps taken, ठीक है, and at the end there will be the way forward, ठीक है, same framework here, ठीक है, asymmetric federalism, the classification of it, vertical, horizontal, fiscal, then the significance or the analysis of it, major issues, way forward. Okay? In this way you have to ensure that you are preparing your notes using this 6-point framework. So the entire governance or the entire federalism, where we have covered more than 8 to 9 micro themes, he has compiled it into around 6 pages. Okay, so like this. So fiscal consolidation, fiscal federalism, again classification, right? So your introduction and context part is ready. What happens is that then in the exam your half page is already ready and you can give the maximum time to recall the points from the core part. Okay? Is this clear? Yes? Okay, so this is how you have to prepare your short notes, or if you feel you don't have the time to prepare the short notes, you simply rely on the X factor notes. X factor notes, I have tried to keep it as concise as possible. Okay, you simply highlight into the X factor notes only, you simply revise, and wherever the analysis part is there, you simply add the framework. Okay, I will be using Pi's approach. That's it. Okay, so this is how you have to prepare the short notes based upon the X factor notes. Okay, so this 6-point framework. Next is second aspect is the PYQ orientation of your micro themes. Okay, so like I said previously also, in the second phase of the application phase of the 40 days, we will be focusing majorly on the PYQs, where we will be brainstorming over 7 years of the PYQs. Okay. Secondly, while brainstorming over the PYQs, there also you try to apply the answer writing framework. So suppose you came across any of the PYQ, okay, what you will be doing, okay, so this is going to be my introduction, this is going to be my context, then for the framework I will be using Pi's approach, then the presentation aspect wise I will be using your table and providing one case study, and conclusion is going to be this. In this way you have to brainstorm over each and every PYQ from last 7 years. Okay, and how you have to utilize the PYQ? For that there is a two-way use of the PYQ. First, before you start reading any of the X factor of any of the micro theme, first just go through all the PYQs and identify the core themes from that particular micro theme. Don't brainstorm over the PYQ, just go through the PYQ just to understand the types of the question that UPSC asks from this question, from that particular micro theme. And you will be, or you will find only one of these 6 aspects from which UPSC has asked the question. इसके beyond UPSC जाता ही नहीं है क्वेश्चन में, क्योंकि इसके beyond जाने का स्कोप ही नहीं है. ठीक है. Now these are the notes prepared by the student. The new X factor notes will be uploaded on your portal. ठीक है. So once The two-way use is before starting reading topic, just go through the PYQs, and once you are done with the notes, once you build the content, again before moving on to the next topic, you go to the PYQs and you brainstorm over it. So brainstorm and apply the templates. Like I said, I will be giving this introduction, this context, then for issues I will be using PIE's approach or whatever approach, and this is going to be my conclusion, right? This. So in this way you will be utilizing the PYQs. Third, okay, so like this, for every topic at the beginning of the X Factor notes only I have given you the last 7 years of the PYQ, right? So just say first, once you go through the PYQ, you will understand the important themes, जैसे vicious cycle of poverty and malnutrition. So this is with respect to the inflation, unemployment, ठीक है. Then with respect to intensity of poverty, that is poverty measurement, right, and multidimensional poverty. Then relationship between poverty and hunger, again it is similar to this theme, ठीक है. So focus on lack of availability of food as main cause of hunger, again poverty and hunger relationship, similar theme, okay. So in the first, when you will go through the PYQs itself, you will be able to understand the important themes from which they ask the question. So they will be asking the question with respect to the measurement of poverty, or majorly they ask the question with respect to relationship between poverty and hunger and poverty and nutrition, right. So while reading the notes itself, the PYQ should be in your subconscious mind, okay, this kind of the question they have asked, so I can use this content into the relationship between poverty and hunger related questions. And once you are done with the notes, once you come to this again for the PYQ, here you prepare the template for the PYQ. So for the introduction, so this is the relationship between the poverty and malnutrition, okay. So what you can do is you can simply start with the quote, okay. Then as it is about the poverty and malnutrition, you already have the data. So after your introduction, what you can think of, I will be just using this table, I will be giving data file like AIR 13 Medha Anand used to do, okay. Or Aditya Srivastava has also given in few of the questions, data file, I will be giving data on the poverty, malnutrition. Then as it is talking about the vicious cycle, so adversely affecting human capital formation, right. So first you talk about poverty and malnutrition vicious cycle, you draw the diagram, I will be drawing the diagram, right, and then its impact on human capital formation. So impact on capital formation, this should be done in the first page, as this is the first part of the question, this much of the part I should be able to cover in first page. On second page I will go for the what steps can be taken through to break this cycle. So basically they are asking the way forward, so I will be using pastel approach. So at policy level, at economy level, at social level, at technological level, at legal level like your National Food Security Act, etc., okay, and at environmental level. So you will be using the pastel approach, okay. Along with it, then the conclusion, again either objective based conclusion, that vision of this Viksit Bharat 2047, or you can link it with the SDG 1 and 2, poverty and hunger, right. So, and that will be my conclusion. So this is how you will be brainstorming over each and every question after reading the notes, okay. Is it clear? So just preparing, you will be preparing the structure and templates into your mind, because writing will take more time. So if you write these PYQs on daily basis, that will lead to more time. So in 1 hour you will be able to write only 5, okay. But if you brainstorm in 1 hour, you will be able to prepare the answers of around 10 to 12 questions. So that is more effective way, of brainstorming, because you will be already writing the answers from this FLTs. Okay, so there will be the 12 FLTs that you will be writing, right? This next aspect is the frameworks, right? So in the frameworks, what we will be doing is first, जैसे अभी मैंने discuss किया in that particular PYQ, first you will be preparing the theme wise frameworks. Okay, again there will be one session on the frameworks tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Okay, on the frameworks. So there I will be giving you the compilation of the frameworks, and you just have to apply those frameworks to that particular micro theme. जैसे poverty, it will be pastel. If it is on local government, it will be pies. And majority of the question in the economics, it is going to be this one, the staple framework, right? So with respect to press, जैसे मैंने यहाँ पे दिया है, role of media, in the notes itself we will find those frameworks. Okay, specifically for the applied ethics part, कि 6C framework or the press framework, right? So what you have to do is you have to consolidate these. So in the question, while writing the paper, once you identify the micro theme, all you have to do is think from this framework perspective in order to generate the dimensions, because remember we have to get the edge in terms of the dimensions. Okay, many of you must have written the mains. You just check on an average how many points you have written in 10 marker and 15 marker. Okay, the point that you are sitting here means you haven't cleared or you haven't gotten into the IS. That means you just check your points, you will find that maximum in 10 marker you have written 9 to 10, and in 15 marker you have written 14 to 15. And then you go and check the answers of Shruti Sharma, Aditya Srivastav, or Shubham Kumar, or Animesh Pradhan, or this year's Shakti Dubey. You will find on an average in 10 marker they have written 11 to 12, and 15 marker they have written 16 to 17 points. That's the edge that they get in terms of the dimensions, and that will come with the frameworks. Second, for every micro theme you will be preparing the brownie points or the presentation aspect, and this is the uniqueness that we will be consolidating in the second phase. That is, suppose on any question with respect to the local government, I will be giving a case study of Porto Algero of Brazil of participatory budgeting. So what I will be doing at the end, where I will be providing the way. So if this is your paper margin, this is the end where you will be providing the conclusion or way forward. What I will be doing, I will be simply giving a table, and here I will be giving the case study of Porto Algero participatory budgeting. So this is how we will be consolidating those brownie points. Okay, so everywhere we will be thinking on this. Okay. Secondly, on any question related to the poverty, we are going to bring the vicious cycle and virtuous cycle wala diagram. Okay. Similarly, in the PDF also I had shown how you can incorporate the diagrams with respect to the NGO and self-help groups. This is how you will be consolidating those. Okay. This is the uniqueness that you will be bringing into your answer. So when you will be brainstorming, so for every micro theme you will be preparing the one or two such micro theme, one or two such brownie points. Okay. On any question with respect to the local bodies, while giving the way forward, I will add this. Okay. Similarly, thoda uniqueness if you prepare for every micro theme, that is going to give you that edge, and that is going to improve your presentation. And that we will be doing in the second phase of application, that is 40 days. Okay? Yes. Next, so like this, the frameworks, it is there into your X factor. Wherever I couldn't classify the points under the X factor, under the frameworks in X factor, you try to classify it, because at the beginning I have already given the answer writing framework and the templates. Okay. Then comprehensiveness and introduction, conclusion plus context framework. Now this is with respect to your current affairs. Okay, so whenever you are reading current affairs, generally I would suggest keep X factor as your primary source. Okay. And secondly, don't गिव टू मच ऑफ द टाइम फॉर द करंट अफेयर्स, ठीक है, क्योंकि नहीं आता है क्वेश्चन. मैक्सिमम ऑफ द करंट अफेयर्स रिलेटेड थीम्स आई हैव कवर्ड इट इन एक्स फैक्टर, बट स्टिल टू अवॉइड द फोमो, what you do for the current affairs is whatever topic you have covered from current affairs or whatever material that you have followed for current affairs for prelims, ठीक है, you continue with the same, ठीक है. From there just get the list of the micro themes, ठीक है, कि कौन से टॉपिक से रिलेटेड है. सेकेंड, अंडरस्टैंड और गेट द कंसेप्चुअल क्लियरिटी कि एग्जैक्टली वो इशू है क्या, ठीक है. फॉर एग्जांपल रिसेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट रिलेटेड टू, जस्ट अ सेकेंड, ठीक है. सो फॉर करंट अफेयर्स आई विल राइट इट इन अगेन, whatever prelims material that you have followed, okay, just go through the same, identify the key current affairs issues, relate that to the mains micro theme, okay, and brainstorm over it using our 6-point formula. That's the first. Second, if you decide to go with any other material of the current affairs from the market, ठीक है, डोंट ट्राई टू रीड द एंटायर बुक, ठीक है. बहुत सारे मटेरियल्स आते हैं, ठीक है, 365, 366, 367 बहुत आते हैं, ठीक है. डोंट यू, इफ़ यू वांट टू चेक, जस्ट गो थ्रू द 2024 डॉक्यूमेंट एंड चेक करो कितने क्वेश्चंस आए हैं मेंस में. नहीं आए हैं, ठीक है. सो कॉस्ट बेनिफिट एनालिसिस इज वेरी लेस. व्हाट यू सिंपली डू इज you just go through the first, this is from the prelims current affairs which you have already done, from there compile. Second, if whatever material you want for the mains, just first go through the index. From the index, if you know ki okay, I know about this particular theme or I have already covered it, just skip it. Don't give up or don't go with the temptation कि नहीं यार मेरे को यहाँ से भी करना पड़ेगा, दैट विल ऑल्सो गिव यू मी सम एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट्स. डोंट, ठीक है. जस्ट गो थ्रू द इंडेक्स एंड ओनली कवर द टॉपिक्स अबाउट विच यू हैव नो आइडिया और अबाउट विच यू हैवंट रेड एनीथिंग. एंड फ्रॉम देयर ऑल्सो जस्ट गेट द कंसेप्चुअल क्लियरिटी एट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज द इशू एंड देन ब्रेनस्टॉर्म ओवर इट यूजिंग आवर 6-point फॉर्मूला, ठीक है. दैट्स इट. करंट अफेयर्स को ज़्यादा एम्फेसाइज नहीं करना है. एक्स फैक्टर नोट्स हैज़ कवर्ड 80% ऑफ योर करंट अफेयर्स, ठीक है. रिमेनिंग के लिए जस्ट कैजुअली गो थ्रू दोज मटेरियल एंड जो भी टॉपिक आपने नहीं पढ़ा है जस्ट कवर ओनली दोज टॉपिक्स, ठीक है. सेकेंड एस्पेक्ट इज कि वेन एवर यू आर रीडिंग द न्यूज़ पेपर, अगेन ट्राई टू फॉलो द एग्जाम ओरिएंटेड अप्रोच. कोई कुरुक्षेत्र, कोई योजना नहीं पढ़ना है, ठीक है. इकोनॉमिक सर्वे एंड बजट का समरी वी हैव ऑलरेडी प्रोवाइडेड, यू कैन यूज दैट समरी. फॉर इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस ऑल्सो you will be getting the X factor notes and you will be reading only the X factor notes. ठीक है? Yes. Now for this reading the newspaper, while reading the newspaper also try to follow the exam oriented approach. कोई भी न्यूज़ पढ़ने के बाद immediately first link it to the micro theme. Okay, this is related to the IR part of polity, IR part of GS2 within bilateral relations or multilateral organizations. Second, once you relate or link it with the micro theme, second thing, after reading that document, immediately just think, okay, where can I use this kind of the content or this particular news. Just for example, this is today's The Hindu paper, right? The one news is US may curb student processing titan vetting. Okay, so you go through the entire news. Once you read it, what you will do? First, it is related to the IR and bilateral relations. ठीक है, इंडो यूएस बायलैटरल रिलेशन. सेकेंड, this I can use it into the issues part. So how will I prepare this? What is the issue with respect to the visas? Example, recent US tightening, again vetting for स्टूडेंट वीज़ा. ठीक है, ओके, ये मेरा पॉइंट बन गया. सॉरी यार, आई विल राइट अगेन. ठीक है, सो हाउ विल यू राइट द पॉइंट? वन, फर्स्ट you will be linking it to the IR part of bilateral relations, and second, this news will go to the issues. So what is the issue between India US relation? So visa issues. Example, US tightening vetting for student visas. ठीक है, so immediately ऐसे आपको think करना है. Okay, this is the news, and in this way I am going to write my point. This is the exam oriented approach. Just don't read it, think over it कि how I can prepare a point from this. ठीक है. Secondly, second news is with respect to protesters lock central government officers in Manipur. Right. So immediately where you can use this? One is the with respect to internal security. Second, you can also use it in governance or ethics to highlight lack of people trust. Right. So wherever you are giving, suppose the question is with respect to the highlight the impact of the corruption in governance. So one point of the impact will be the reducing public trust, and immediately example, the protesters locking central government, or the protesters locking central government officers in Manipur. So there I can use it as the example in governance related to the public trust. So ऐसे you have to generate the points. So don't just read. ठीक है, apply the exam oriented mindset and just brainstorm where I can use this particular point. ठीक है, in ethics also you can use it as the example. Similarly, अपना ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हो गया अभी. So where you can utilize that operation सिंदूर, right? So it is with respect to the India's new doctrine related to terrorism. So that will come into the internal security. Secondly, within ethics, so ethics of war, there you can utilize it, right? Thirdly, with respect to the IR, Indo-Pakistan relations, there you can utilize it, the new normal after the operation Sindoor, right? So this is how you have to approach the current affairs, ठीक है, or the newspapers. ठीक है, ये क्लियर है? Then these we have already discussed. कि introductions, 2-3 types of the introductions you need to prepare. One from the positive side, one from the negative side. ठीक है. Then 1 or 2 conclusions. Again a quote or policy objective or SDG or vision of leaders. जैसे Gandhi's vision of Swaraj or decentralization of power, और मोदीज विजन ऑफ आत्मनिर्भर भारत और विकसित भारत. ठीक है. इन IR, नेहरूज विजन ऑफ इंडियाज राइटफुल प्लेस इन कमिटी ऑफ नेशंस, राइट, दैट काइंड ऑफ द विजन. और पॉलिसी ऑब्जेक्टिव्स लाइक मिनिमम गवर्नमेंट, मैक्सिमम गवर्नेंस, देन सबका साथ सबका विकास, राइट, ट्राइबल पंचशील, in that way. Then you also have the SDG and you can also use the quote. ठीक है. So in this way you have to approach the current affairs. And last is the toppers templates. Okay, so in the on your portal, on your, now remember this, okay, how to get access to your content. So on your portal you will have Smash Mains 2025, and by today evening under so on your portal, that is prelims.civilsdaily, okay, there you will be having Smash Mains 2025, and here by today evening we will be uploading our notes under updated X Factor 2025. So there we will be updating, or we will be uploading our updated notes by today evening of the completed subjects. This polity, governance will be uploaded today. In next, by tomorrow evening we will also upload social justice, and by this month end or by 2nd of June we will upload IR. Okay. Then on 3rd of June we will be uploading the entire ethics document is ready. On 3rd of June we will be uploading ethics. Okay. And then ancient medieval art and culture is also ready, that will also be uploaded. See, we won't be providing the notes on geography, second world history and post independence. So for geography I will be providing the answer writing framework document. Okay. World history or post independence we are not providing any notes, except for these subjects. We will be providing you the comprehensive notes for each and every subject. So your entire modern history, ancient medieval art and culture, society, polity, governance, social justice, IR, economics, agriculture, environment, disaster management, internal security, and the entire ethics. So for all these subjects we will be providing your notes by 15th of June. It will be continuously uploaded, getting uploaded on the portal. That is the first. Second, as far as the toppers answers are concerned, the second, you will be having the Smash, you will be having access to the Smash PYQ 2025. Okay, here we have already uploaded the workbooks. Okay, these are the notes of the lectures that we have taken of the live answer writing, where we have brainstormed over more than 400 PYQs, and 43 lectures have already been uploaded. Okay, this, and in those workbook, for every micro theme, don't read the notes, because updated notes you have to read. At the end of the every workbook you will find the toppers answers from that particular theme. So toppers answers you will get access here, okay, on the workbook in Smash PYQ section. Okay, and from the toppers answers what you have to focus upon is, just a second, in the toppers answers what you have to focus upon, one is the dimension, flow and templates. There's a majority of the toppers, if you read the answers of Shruti Sharma, she has simply followed the template where she has given this political, economic, social as her subheading, and under it she has written 1 or 2 points, right? So for every answer that you will be reading, try to identify the template that they have followed. One. Second, try to understand their articulation, right? So like I said, every topper incorporate 11 to 12 points in 10 marker and 16 to 18 points in 15 marker. So that means their articulation is also precise, their articulation is also concise, right? They don't write the generic point, they try to substantiate each point with the data or example. So their articulation, how they are writing, see, any point that you will be writing has three aspects. One, subheading. Second is the elaboration of it. And third aspect is the substantiation of it. That is example or data. And all these three aspects they cover in maximum 2 to 2.5 lines. So how they articulate or how they manage, that you need to understand and that you need to try to incorporate, right? And last is how they go beyond the demand of the question, how they incorporate some new things, right? जैसे मैंने एक दिखाया था कि in the case study after the course of action, he has also highlighted the possible challenges in the course of action, right? That has not been asked in the case study, or majority of the aspirants don't also give that, right? But they go beyond the demand, but with minimum of the space, right? When we will have a session on the directive tomorrow, there I will go into the detail how to go beyond the demand and how they have incorporated this. Okay, so these aspects you have to focus upon in the toppers answers. Okay, is it clear? Yes. Now I will take few doubts. This PPT and the PDF of the schedule will be uploaded on the Smash Mains Telegram channel in next 1 hour, and the portal will be, all the notes will be uploaded on your portal by today evening. Okay, so from today itself you have to start your preparation. And one last thing is, see, there are 2 to 3 ways in which you can divide your daily schedule. Okay, so one is you divide your day, okay, in 60-40, that is around 7 hours you give for your GS and 5 hours for your optional. Okay, that is the one way. Second is, some of you feel that key or want continuity in their preparation. If they take any one subject, so they want to continue with the same subject throughout the day, right? So for them there are again 2 approaches. One is the 5-2 or 4-3, depending upon the level of preparation of your optional, right? So 5-2 is you divide your week into 5 days and 2 days. So 5 days for GS and 2 days for optional, or 4-3 where 4 days for GS and 3 days for optional. Okay, this is also one of the strategies. This is a bit complicated, but you can follow this one. 60-40, you give 7 hours for your GS and 5 hours for your optional. Okay, is it reasonable to write 10 answers daily? Not necessary. Rather than writing 10 answers, you write 1 or 2 answers only and brainstorm over 10 answers. That will save your time. And in the first phase, first 40 days, our priority is finishing the syllabus and consolidation of the content. In next 40 days, if you want, you can write 5 answers on a daily basis. But again, 10 answers is too much, not necessary. You write all the 12 FLTs. You have to ensure that the schedule that I have prepared, so whenever your subject is ending, on the last day of that subject, you will be giving your full length test. So you just ensure the 12 FLTs you are writing. So on the 7th or on the 8th of June, you will be writing your first FLT of GS2. Then on the 15th of June, you will be writing your second FLT. Then for GS1, you have 10 days. So on 26th of June, you will be writing your GS1 FLT. It will be uploaded 3 to 4 days prior. So on 26th of June, you can attempt your GS1 FLT, and same on the next, on 8th of July, you can attempt your GS3 FLT. Right? This. And the FLT will be already uploaded on it will be uploaded on 29th of June, but your syllabus is completing on 8th of July. So on that day you can attempt your FLT. So like I said, never align your preparation with the tests, rather align your tests with the preparation. Okay? Yes. Now I will take few doubts. Any doubts? Essay structuring lectures, I had taken 1 or 2 webinar on the essay structuring. Then on 1st or 2nd of June in the conclave, we again have 2 sessions on the essays. One will be taken by Rohit sir and second will be taken by the ranker. In what time frame will these tests are going to get evaluated? So your tests will be evaluated in 2 days. So if you attempt the test on 8th, you will get your evaluated copy by 9th evening or 10th morning. And if you, after that, you have to send your evaluated copy to your mentor, and on the same day or on the next day, you will be having one-on-one discussion with your mentor, where all of your questions will be discussed individually by either me or Arvind sir or Swatantra sir. Okay. All the notes, all the tests are included in your Smash Mains program. So one-on-one mentorship will work. Once you get your evaluated copy, you have to send it to your mentor and he will schedule your one-on-one call. If you are offline student, it will be discussed in offline mode. Otherwise, there will be a Zoom session where your copy will be shared on the screen and it will be discussed with you online. If you have already read the previous X-Factor notes, that is fine, you continue with the same, only update the data from the recent one. Yes, notes are PYQ Samiksha, updated notes, and the are going to be these only. The X-Factor only from PYQ Samiksha, you have to read the toppers answers. Okay. Samachar Manthan's batch, I am not aware about it. These will be available to all the UAP students and all the Smash Mains students. Price, you will have to call you will have to call our sales representative. They will tell you about the price. Okay. So this is your schedule. This you have to strictly follow. If you ensure that you are following these notes and you are writing all the 12 GS tests and 5 essay tests, okay, from our side we will ensure that your each and every test is duly evaluated, one from our evaluator team and second during your one-on-one mentorship call with the mentor. Okay. And I can guarantee you you will see jump in your marks by at least 50 to 60 in GS. Okay. Yes, so this PPT and the schedule PDF will be uploaded in your groups. Yes, that will be enough. Yes. Any doubts with respect to schedule? Is the schedule clear and is it manageable? Yes. Does anyone think it is not manageable? Right? Okay. So we will end our session here. Tomorrow at 11 we will be having a session with respect to the directives. So there I will be decoding all the directives that UPSC asks in a question, and based upon the directive how to structure your answer, and I will be also showing few of the toppers answers in that. Okay. It is enough to score 420 easily. Yes. Yes. Telegram link, you simply contact your sales team. Okay. Whoever has enrolled you into the program, he will add you into the Telegram channel. He will share the links with you on Telegram channel, or once you get access to your portal, on your once you get the confirmation mail, in that mail itself you will get the links with respect to the Telegram channels. Okay, so the introductory mail that you get, in that there will be the links for the channels. Okay, so tomorrow same time we will be having session with respect to decoding the directives. Okay guys, thank you all. For any queries you can directly contact with our video team. The number is there on our Smash Mains brochure. Okay, so all the best. Make sure you are attending all the sessions of this the conclave. Okay, that will give you the proper head start. Okay guys, all the best.